Hey everybody, I'm Aaron Simmons. This is Philosophy for Where We Find Ourselves. Today we're going to talk about Stoicism, living with no regret, and a little dash of Derrida's idea of what it means to do the work of mourning. All right, I'll see you in a second. Hey folks, so I admit it has been a long time since I've posted a new video like this. I apologize about that, but to be honest, the YouTube algorithms have not been all that helpful to small channels like mine, channels that are more interested in substantive content than they are in, blowing up $1 million of fireworks and throwing cats off roofs of RVs and stuff. So I appreciate all of you who have stayed committed to doing public philosophy. Thank you for watching my content here. What's been going on, though, a little bit of explanation, I've shifted pretty significantly over to Substack. So if you like longer form written content, you can find me at Philosophy in the Wild over at Substack. I post 2 posts a week. On Fridays, it's more kind of regular philosophical work. On Mondays, I do a focus on music since I was a professional drummer for so long. So we do Music Mondays and talk about philosophy and the way that it impacts with music and genres and different types of musical content. So I hope that you'll enjoy both of those formats over there on Substack. Again, that's Philosophy in the Wild on Substack. That said, I have been doing quite a few live streams here on Philosophy for Where We Find Ourselves. They have been awesome. They've been the kind of stuff that I want to bring to an audience that I want to put out there for the public. So I will continue to do that. Many of them have done very, very well, much to my surprise. The shorter videos with the kind of weekly philosophic ideas, those unfortunately have gone from, 400 or 500 views a week down to like 50. YouTube changed their algorithm so that now everything is about ad revenue, everything is about watch hours, and as a result, it really has hit my channel really hard, and so I just kind of moved away from it for quite a while. I'm hoping to get back to doing some more YouTube content here. That said, it would mean a ton to me if you would drop a like on this video, drop a comment in, tell me the kinds of topics and questions and issues that you would like to see handled here in the 5 to 10 minute video format rather than over there on the Substack where I'm doing more kind of traditional written philosophy. So would love to hear from you. If this video can do well, then it of course is telling me that there's a lot of people who would like to keep seeing these videos, and so that gives me motivation to make more of them. Today, though, I want to talk about an idea in Stoicism that comes to us in particular from the philosopher Seneca. He writes that we should live with no regret. Now, what he means by this, of course, is that we should live such that we do not wish things had been otherwise. Now, there's a powerful way of understanding this, such that we should do our best to make every minute count. This is what I talk about in my book, Camping with Kierkegaard, by what's worthy of our finitude. Are you living on purpose, with intention? So living without regret is Seneca's way of trying to get us to be invested in being someone we're okay having been. That said, I actually think that there's a side of regret that is actually really powerful. And this is the idea that regret is what reminds us that we can do things differently. We are not locked in. We're not trapped. We are not determined relative to that which depends on our will. The world, if we are frustrated by it, if we regret the way the world is, right, we wish it were different, then change it. Make it something else. And so that doesn't mean that we wallow and become stifled by this sense of, oh, if only I had done differently. You can't fix what you did, but you can fix what you do. And so that's where I think we should live without regret, as Seneca recommends, but we should also learn from things that we wish had been different so that we empower ourselves to be agents in the world, that we can make the world look better. Now, this is something that I've been thinking about quite a bit lately because my son, Atticus, is almost 17, which means that he would rather do almost anything other than hang out with me. And that's age appropriate, it makes sense. But it's also something that causes me to feel this sense of almost regret that I'm not able to spend more time with him right now. I offer, I try, I invite, I encourage. He just would rather do anything else in the world than hang out with his 49-year-old dad. And that's fine. But this is where I start thinking about the relationship between Seneca's idea of living without regret and Jacques Derrida's notion of the work of mourning. Now, by mourning here, we're not, this sense of absolute agony and grief, but it's the idea of experiencing in real time a kind of loss of the present. So even though I am today riding my bike, I'm having a great time, enjoying being out here in the woods, I'm also later going to go write a paper on the phenomenology of faith and reason. And so I'm excited about that as well. May get a scone along the way. However, there is a sense of loss that today was a day I didn't get to spend with my son. Now, I could have forced him to get out of bed, but that just makes him in a grumpy mood. And so what's the point? So mourning, in this sense, is the idea of being able to be invested in the significance of the present, even while we recognize the present may not look the way it could have. And that sense of mourning what could have been without being overwhelmed by regret is, I think, part of the task of vulnerable beings like us who have will and who also have agency. So I hope this is helpful to you as you think about where you are today, why it matters, where are you going, right? The idea of being invested in where you are, connected to the recognition that where you are is also not necessary. It could have been different. We can mourn a kind of loss of today in a way that we wish it had been while still celebrating the day that it is. To me, that's an encouraging thought. And it's one that will keep me hoping to get my son's butt out of bed tomorrow. And maybe he'll go ride with me. Maybe we'll hit a river and do some fishing, but maybe not. And that doesn't mean that I've got to be miserable. It does mean that I am aware of where I am and doing my best to get to where I'm hoping to go. All right. I'll see you next time, unless a piano falls on our heads.